Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our second day. Huddled down in the Pocono Mountains, deep in an underground bunker. Not really, but all right. Uh, Welcome back to Corona Fest. We are going to pick up right where we left off. We are looking at the Mexican-American War. We left off with James K. Polk declaring that American blood was spilled upon American soil, and that Polk is calling for war with Mexico, which Congress quickly grants him. Um, John C. Fremont is up there on the left side right here, and you have a young Abraham Lincoln calling for his spot resolutions, which basically asked James K. Polk to show him exactly the exact spot on the ground where American blood was spilled. Polk never responds. And part of that is because there's a real border dispute that we talked about. Wow. Look at that dope GIF. Unbelievable. Anyway, New Mexico and California will play into this pretty quickly. California, under the leadership of John C. Fremont, who you see right here, declares itself the Bear Flag Republic of California. This was not coordinated with the American government. He is basically looking at Texas, seeing how they declared independence and then became a state, and he's going to try to do the same thing with California. With a group of Americans already living in California and with a group of upper-class Mexicans who saw the American economy as a better fit than the Mexican economy, they thought they would do better, they join in. New Mexico falls as soon as California does, and we start to see the wheels coming off here for California. So, Mexico is actually invaded under the leadership of two figures. Who you see here on the right is Zachary Taylor, future president. So, both of these guys have great nicknames. Let me get out of his way here. So, Zachary Taylor's nickname was Old Rough and Ready. He was always ready to go to war. You can see he does look like a tough character. This war will propel him to the presidency, as the next war will propel Ulysses S. Grant to the presidency, as we've seen in the War of 1812. Andrew Jackson propelled to the presidency. In World War II next year, you will see that Dwight Eisenhower is propelled to the presidency because of World War II. The other's name was Winfield Scott. Great nickname as well, Old Fuss and Feathers. Scott was actually a war hero in the War of 1812. Now think about that. The War of 1812 to 1848, for those of you who are more mathematically inclined, I believe that is 36 years. And he is still in charge of the American military. Here's the difference. Zachary Taylor was great at dealing with small groups of soldiers, moving very quickly. Winfield Scott is good at big planning. Huge groups of soldiers in big operations. So they work very well together. Winfield Scott will actually still be in charge of the American military when the Civil War rolls around. We will see him again. Also, the reason this war is really important, one of the big things to remember, is this was the dress rehearsal for the Civil War. West Point was relatively new, the military academy in upstate New York, right on the Hudson River. It had been around since the American Revolution, but it had never really been tested. Two young officers, one from Virginia, oh boy, shouldn't have done this, and Robert E. Lee, somewhere in the West. I don't want to venture a guess, because I'll probably be wrong. Illinois? Probably not. I'll have to look that up. They're going to factor heavily into this war, and they will both prove themselves in the Mexican-American War. In fact, Lee gets such a reputation that it's obvious he is going to be at the head of the American military very soon. Ulysses S. Grant does not cut the same figure. He is not as well received, but some military leaders take notice that he fights very well, leads men very well. The United States is going to defeat Mexico in this war without losing a single battle. It's not going to take very long, and it will be over almost as quickly as it begins. So America loses 13,000 soldiers in the war. Very few actually killed by the Mexican military. Of those 13,000, 11,000 die from disease. America ends the war quickly by signing the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Guadalupe Hidalgo. That's got to be the best name in American history for a treaty. It gives the Americans basically the entire Southwest. We are going to call this, and here's a term you really should know, the Mexican Cession. It is what Mexico cedes to the United States, the Mexican Cession. And not only do they get Oregon, California, and Texas what they wanted, they also get Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, most of Arizona, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming. This is a massive piece of territory. It increases the size of the United States by a third. The United States, in response, before the war, James K. Polk offered to buy California for $25 million. Just California. He's now going to give Mexico $15 million for the whole shebang. Also, in 1853, the Gadsden Purchase will take place, which established the current borders of the United States. The current borders of the United States. Oh, I just realized I haven't been on camera this whole time. I'm sorry that I deprived you of that, and I'm going to disappear again because I have a quick video I want to show you on the Gadsden Purchase. Bye-bye.
Everybody, welcome back to the show. Coming up this week, we have Russell Brand, Tracy Morgan, Michael Stipe, Emily Blunt. It's going to be a great week. So excited. It's week 2.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, great show so far, but why haven't you done any jokes about the Gadsden Purchase?
I'm sorry, what?
The Gadsden Purchase, signed in 1854 by President Franklin Pierce, granted the U.S. sovereignty over the southern tips of Arizona and New Mexico. You see, the terrain in the southernmost portion of the Mexican Cession, 1848, was too rocky for the Transcontinental Railroad. So,
wait, you brought a visual aid. That's you carry that around everywhere you go, or?
I do love the Gadsden Purchase.
Well, if you love this thing so much, why would you want me to make a joke about it?
I mean, you got to be able to laugh at the Gadsden Purchase. I mean, it's what life's all about.
Life is all about laughing at the Gadsden. Maybe that's what your life's about, but I don't see what's so funny about a 150-year-old land treaty.
Well, I mean, just look at all the comedic possibilities. I mean, you got Franklin Pierce, hello, James Gadsden, not to mention topographical issues regarding the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. I mean, the jokes practically write themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
You know what? I just thought of a joke. Do you guys want to hear it? Yeah! What's the only difference between the Gadsden Purchase and the Louisiana Purchase?
I give up. What?
The Louisiana Purchase was signed in 1803 and gave the U.S. 800,000 square miles of French territory, and the Gadsden Purchase didn't suck.
Oh, that's a pretty great joke. Except you forgot the part about how the Gadsden Purchase never would have happened if it weren't for the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Up top, baby.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm that guy's worst nightmare. The guy who loves the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Signed 1848. Ended the Mexican-American War.
Wait, you have the actual treaty with you?
No, but it's a pretty decent replica.
Okay, that is just sad. That's really sad. What do you think about all this?
The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is nothing more than a poor man's Clayton Bulwer Treaty.
He got you there, buddy.
That's awful cute, beard boy. Now I got a joke for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Best treaty in the world.
All right, I think I see where this is going. The best treaty in the world, who?
What are you, stupid? The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Who wants to party?
Hey,
just curious, though, what do you guys think of the Webster-Ashburton Treaty?
You mean the 1842 treaty that resolved minor boundary disputes between U.S. and Canada?
Yes, negotiated by U.S. Secretary of State Daniel Webster.
I love the Webster-Ashburton Treaty.
Me too. Dad?
I'm not your dad. What? You're like 10 years younger than me.
Would you be my dad?
No! There's too many history nerds in the audience tonight.
All right, well, there are never too many history nerds, if I do say so myself. So, quickly, the war ends, and it really is important because the United States now has fulfilled manifest destiny. It has moved from one end of the continent to the other, controls the entire area in the middle, and now really has fulfilled manifest destiny. The United States is going to have to decide what it's going to do from here, and that is where we're going. However, there's one last topic in this chapter, and that is the gold rush. In 1848, gold was discovered in San Francisco, and the next year, 49ers, who are leaving in 1849, rushed to California to begin prospecting to try to find gold. Very few find what they thought was going to be found. They thought they were going to all become immensely wealthy, and while some did, not all, obviously. Within 5 years, there are 100,000 people living in California, well more than enough to become a state. It will become a state in 1850, and it will be a free state. So the South is starting to feel the squeeze of the North expanding, although Texas enters the Union as a slave state to balance that out and maintain that balance in the Senate. All right, in classroom, you're going to find a document I put together. They're just 2 quick documents you're going to read and 3 questions for each one. There is a big picture idea, a big picture idea at the end. You're going to answer that in a paragraph. Should not take that long. Please email me if you have any questions. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll remember to turn the webcam on tomorrow.